Hello.
Hello.
All right, so where's my camera this week? I really need to rebuild my computer system. Oh, hold on. You there?
Yep, I'm here.
I just disconnected something else. Nope, this isn't the camera. This must be the camera. As long as I don't drop water. All right, so let's see what happens.
I got our audio turned on. Okay, I'm going to turn the audio off. I'll be back in a minute. Awesome. And I'm going to try and bring us in. Let's get rid of, nope, not that. This. How do I get rid of, hold on, people. There we go. I'll get rid of that. We'll do pre-show, and we'll do that. So hopefully y'all can hear us out there. We're still a little away from the start. We're only on YouTube tonight. And we're going to try and, I'm going to try and keep it short because I only have one main topic. But
did you, I guess you got my message the other day. I guess nothing was able to come from that.
Uh-oh. Oh, no, still working on that. Yes.
Okay.
Still have not set a date. No.
Okay. I just think that would be good.
But Tim, so we're in the pre-show, so this won't get published except for whoever's here. I am kicking your butt, Tim.
Oh, my steps?
Yeah.
You know, I find it finally now it's me who's been real busy at work.
If there's a way to do it in here, and there's no way, I would be lapping you now.
Although now I got to look.
Well, I'm
maybe
almost.
It's my new Fitbit. Maybe it's my new Fitbit.
Oh yeah, we'll blame it on that.
Yes,
I'm almost
I
40.
On something. Get me myself.
I'm almost 40,000 ahead.
Oh my God, I'm only at 58. I used to have 110,000,
I know.
120,000.
I guess that old age is catching up to you.
No, and that's why I haven't lost any weight anymore.
Well,
my wife is 30,000 ahead of me. Now that's wrong.
So I started something. I got the treadmill.
All right. So now the treadmill.
Yeah.
How is it with measuring your steps? Because when I go to the gym, my treadmill doesn't always capture all my steps.
Okay. So
if I put my hands on the bar or something,
yeah, you can't do that.
Yeah, and that's the issue I wound up having.
So I've noticed a few things. Because I've been walking on the track a lot, and I use Runkeeper for walking, and I know how many steps I am at the 10-minute mark, and I know my average pace and that kind of stuff. So what I have determined is the pace that Runkeeper says, and I think my Fitbit when I'm got it hooked up to GPS, is not the same pace as what the treadmill does. Because if I do the same miles per hour that Runkeeper and my Fitbit say, I'm like dying. I can't keep up with that fast. So I got to back it down a little bit from there. But what I have noticed is at the 10-minute mark, I'm within 100 steps of what I was at the 10-minute mark when I was walking on a trail. So it's fairly close. Now,
100 steps, that's not a problem.
You have to keep, you can't put your hands on anything, or at least your left hand on anything, because that'll mess you up. The other thing is even though I'm doing it with no incline, or mine actually does a little bit of decline, not doing any incline or decline, I at the end of it, I've only done it since this weekend. My legs are my calves feel much more worked out. I mean, they're hurting.
Oh, really?
Where I could walk, twice, 2 hours in a day, 6 to 8 miles, out on the track, and my feet would be what's hurting, not my legs. But no, this is I don't know what's different. Something's going on. That's making it different.
I tell you, my weather's starting to change up here also, so it's gonna. I mean, today it rained a good portion of the day, so I knew I wasn't getting out there. So hopefully, but tomorrow I got to go into the city, so I'll get walking from the train to my office, which is about a mile, and then a mile back in the afternoon. But
yeah,
I was getting 8 miles a day, and now I'm lucky if I'm getting 4.
Well, now what I'm trying to do is walk 30 minutes in the morning, and it gets me a great head start. Wake up a half hour early, go walking 30 minutes, and then when I come home at night, if I can do another hour, that's even more. But I just need to do a half hour at night, so I can do a half hour after the show tonight and be back to what I was normally doing. And then I don't have a TV set up down there. I'm going to do that eventually. But right now, the treadmill comes with a tablet holder. So I'm watching, different YouTube videos, something like that. I know AD's out there. When he posts his stuff on Patreon, I can watch that on my tablet. Found another use for that Apple tablet. Just leave it stuck to the treadmill whenever I'm not flying the drone.
There you go.
But I've been watching some of that stuff.
Speaking of that, I hear Jim Collison is going to wind up getting a drone, it sounds like.
Oh,
he's been talking about it more and more.
Where's he talking about it at?
On his show. He mentioned
Oh.
it this past week with Mike Wieger, and then I think on November 9th, they're going to have a show dedicated to drones. So
Yeah, I missed last week because AD and I think no, not last week, week before last. We were doing a show. He didn't do a show last week.
Then did I not listen to it before that? Mike Wieger was back. I know that. So
Okay.
that was the show.
Okay. Anyway, my people at work said there is no way you're going to get that treadmill down into your basement and set up. The box was 7 foot tall.
Oh,
I measured it, 7 foot tall.
Oh my goodness!
By just
and it was heavy, I'm sure.
Yes. Oh my God, that thing was crazy heavy.
So who delivered that? That didn't come UPS, did it? That had to come freight then.
Yeah, it was somebody else. It was I don't know what named it was, and they put it in the garage. And because I didn't pay for the room delivery or the setup, which everyone told me was a big mistake. So my son and I, we did bring it down to the basement. We got it down there through the backyard, so we didn't have to go down the stairs. There was no way to go through the stairs. Come around the backyard, and then I set it up all by myself. That took a while.
Well, now you know if anything goes wrong with it, you know how to take it apart also.
I hope I never have to do that. But yeah, that thing is insanely heavy.
Oh, yeah, I imagine.
Insanely heavy. But, it gives me something to do now during the winter because I was not going to be able to go walking during the winter. Since I was hardly could walk when I got home because it was so dark, getting dark so early.
Right. Oh, yeah, here it's dark. And forget it, in 2 weeks, the time changes, so that's it.
And I was going to lose it then. Last night it rained and everything. Yes, it was a workout. And Janet used all kind of different muscles because I was wiped out by the end of that day. It only took us maybe a half hour to bring it down. The problem was super heavy. I don't know how much it weighed, but it was really heavy and awkward because it was so big. So we put it on a dolly and had to lay the dolly down and then just kind of dug into dirt as we went down. Fortunately, gravity was helping us because there was a slope in my backyard. And then you had to turn on its side to get it get inside. And we left all the packing and everything inside the box. Took everything out we could to lower the weight. And then once we got it in there, it was okay. But then putting it together took a while.
Well, that's good. And now as long as you're using it, that's a good thing.
Yeah, I just need to get TV down there because you got to have something or else it's just so
something
boring.
to pay attention to, otherwise it's painful.
So boring, yes. But it is nice to just be able to head back there and do it. All right, we got a couple more minutes. We're going. I don't know if I mentioned this before we went live. I'm going to try and keep this one short. And AD and I are going to try a new format with the photo review show coming up. We've been dragging that one out for, I think one show might have even gone close to 2 hours.
Wow.
So we're going to try and shorten that up a little bit. A lot of the live people hung out with us for that long, but I can't imagine. I think a lot of people do what I do, is I do something else while I'm listening to a podcast. I'm not necessarily fully engaged the whole time I'm doing it. I'm kind of listening to it. That's one thing. If you got it going, you listen to it live and you're working on something else or doing whatever. I think people who download it, I don't know if I can make it through a 2-hour show. That's pretty long. So we're going to try and tighten that up a little bit and do a few other changes whenever we do it again. It's only once a month already, so we'll do that. All right, I'll get rid of pre-show. I am recording. Nope. Hold on, not recording over here. There we go. Now we're recording. Are you ready to get started?
Yes, sir.
All right, this is jpeg2RAW, show number 202. And tonight, Tim and I are going to talk about the new LightroomS.
Rooms, yes. That's a... I was going to correct you for a second. I was like, no, wait a second. He's right.
New LightroomS. Before we get to that, I did want to point out something here, Tim, if I can get this up. If you want to subscribe to the podcast, the best way is to come over to our page, jpeg2RAW.com, head over to subscribe, And here are all the links to iTunes, Spreaker, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, TuneIn, Vimeo, YouTube, which if you're watching live right now, you're on YouTube. And then we have a photo review show that A.D. Wheeler and I do once a month. That's also on iTunes, YouTube, and Vimeo. It is video only, but that is the best way to get the show each week or each month, depending on which one you're looking for. The photo review show is once a month. And as far as the photo review show, go over here to photo contest entry. And from here, you can enter via two ways. You can enter either through our webpage here, where you click on this, you fill out the little form, you submit your photo, and it does that way. Or right down below is the links to our Facebook groups, the beginners group and the regular group. You can join those groups and enter that way. That's probably the easiest way, is to enter through one of those means, through Facebook. Right now, the theme for October is open. There's no theme. We're open for both. People tend to like that one the best. Yeah. Every once in a while, it's nice to have a theme so that we can focus on something else. But, I think people always like the open theme the most. All right. That said, Tim, have you updated your Lightroom yet?
Yes, I did. I went up doing it yesterday, and I started playing around with it today. It actually took quite a while to upload it, so...
And I should mention that they updated quite a few things. I think Photoshop,
I think Lightroom,
Premiere,
Photoshop, and a couple
Audition, Bridge, Media Encoder, After Effects. I don't know, maybe all of them.
But yeah, and there was something else that I went up. I didn't download the Lightroom CC. I downloaded the Lightroom Classic CC, and I guess we'll talk more about that. But I tend to think that I'm probably going to wind up using the Classic version.
Yeah. So, as you mentioned that, and if probably everybody listening live already knows this, but maybe somebody doesn't. They've come out with two versions of Lightroom and killed the perpetual license. So it used to be Lightroom was one of those softwares that they still had that you can buy it once and then keep it and get the updates for the RAW and the new images, new cameras, or whatever else. So you can keep that going forever. And you didn't have to upgrade. And if you wanted to upgrade, you could buy another version. So people might have done what I did is you didn't upgrade every version. Maybe you skipped a version or did something like that.
Right.
I know at Photoshop, sometimes I skip two versions. And if you do it that way, your total cost, annual, if you break it down by annual, your cost is much cheaper if you don't make every upgrade. If you're making every upgrade, it's a little more expensive. So Adobe killed that, and I believe they did say prior to that was something they were going to continue. They were going to continue
they said
the perpetual license.
They had said it was indefinite, and
yes.
I wound up reading, people were looking up what does the word indefinite mean, and...
The lesson for us, and I don't know if there's a solution, but the lesson for us, just like we learned with Crash Plan, you can never trust these companies to do something forever.
No. And unlimited does not really mean unlimited. Yep. Indefinite doesn't mean forever. Whatever makes sense to them is what they are going to do. Now, they kind of briefly mentioned something. I was watching, I don't know what I was watching. Maybe it was something Scott Kelby had put out there, that it was a very small group of people that actually was using the perpetual license version of it. And really, I don't know how many people really were using it. I have to think the majority of people probably had the Creative Cloud or the photography plan, I guess, for $9.99, which they're continuing anyway. But I think most people that are using Lightroom on a daily basis or weekly basis probably had that version versus the Lightroom 2015 version. Yeah, in my mind.
I have no idea on the stats, but I know I have the full Creative Cloud, so I had that. And if I didn't, I would opt for the $9.99 plan. And
that's the one I have.
And so I don't really mind them adding new software to the plan. That's fine with me. I'd come up with new stuff. I'm not a big fan of the name Classic. I always, when you
I don't like that.
Stamp Classic on something, I think of several different things.
Classic.
Classic, something that you don't plan to continue for long, or you haven't figured out the name for it yet. I think Coke today is still called Coca-Cola Classic, right? But no one I know of
anymore, I know.
Yeah, no one I know of even probably knows that the word classic is still on the Coke can. but I think it is.
I think it is. Maybe it's on some of them because they have different designs on it. But
so
can make me look at
I think the naming convention, maybe they will straighten that out over time. The naming convention could be better. So I'm not overly concerned with the naming convention. I would rather still call my version of Lightroom, the one where you work on stuff locally, just call it Lightroom or Lightroom CC, whatever, and call the new guy something else.
Right.
Lightroom Mobile, or it's not just for mobile because you can have it on your desktop, but call it something else. But the new Lightroom, or this is where it gets confusing. Not the new Lightroom. Lightroom Classic, which is the one we're used to using on our desktop with the file stored locally, did not get a whole lot of new features. There's one I'll show quickly, and tonight's not a review or a demo or anything like that because those are guys out there do it much better than me and have much more involved stuff. But they did do one major thing to Lightroom that a lot of us have been asking for. They've made it speedier.
Yes, absolutely. That I've noticed.
Unfortunately, on the machine I'm going to show it on, it's a machine problem. So don't take anything that Lightroom is slow when I show it later. It is a machine problem. On my main machine, there is a noticeable difference that it is faster. On this machine, it's going to be awful. So hopefully it works for us when I go to show something. They did add one feature, and maybe if we have someone who is the queen of Lightroom come on at a future date, I'm not going to say this person's name, they can demo it better than what I'm going to show. But let's see if I can get this, see if I can get Lightroom pulled up where people can see it and flip just to that screen. Where is that at? Right here? Hold on, Tim. There we go. That is not the, nope, that is not it. That's the
new version.
That's the new version.
Can't
even pull up the right one.
There it is.
There it is. So this is the, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So yes, so I think in this one, again, don't pay attention to the speed here. In this one, this is the old Lightroom that has been updated. Heck, they could have just called it Lightroom 2018 or something. Whatever. It's Lightroom Classic.
Keep it Lightroom CC.
Yeah, Lightroom Classic. So they added something here. If we go over to, I am in Develop. We go in Develop, and we go into Basic, and then I pick this graduated filter. You see all that, Tim? Graduated filter. And I come over here, and hey, it's working right now. Earlier when I was trying this on this computer, it didn't even want to work. There's a new thing here. You can see it's grayed out. Range mask off. Grayed out. I can't even do anything with it.
Okay.
So at first I was frustrated saying, "What? Okay, a new feature, but it's grayed out. I can't even turn it on." Well, what you got to do is you got to come down here to camera calibration, change your process version to the current process version, and now.
Okay. Yep.
Oh, what just happened? Hold on. There we go. Here we go. Now we come up here and we have the range mask turned off, and I can turn it on to luminance or something like that. And what this is basically supposed to do, and again, there's better demos of what I'm showing you, so don't critique me too hard here. If I come over here and I just really do this hard, and let's drag this down further. I now have this range slider here where I can tell it what zones I want it to work in. Zone, just zone 7 through 10, or that's about 7 through 10. And what you're doing here is affecting just certain areas of the graduated filter area that you've highlighted. And then your smoothness, you can change that too, and it's going to change how much it's doing that. So that those two new sliders.
Right, you can see it staying away from the building on the left.
Yeah, so and I'm doing this very dramatic just so you can see what it's doing. But you have the luminance and you also have the color where you can do that. So here you can do the color picker. You can say, I don't want you to affect that. And here you can do the amount here too. So that's really the new thing in Lightroom Classic. plus the speed. And actually right now the speed is actually not doing too bad on here. So I know one of the things I had trouble with is cycling through sometimes with images. It's cycling through, even on this machine that's slower, it's cycling through fairly fast.
Yeah, that's what I really noticed.
Yeah. Yep, not bad. Okay, so that is the old Lightroom, new version. Now let's go to the new Lightroom. This is the how can I get rid of all that? Nope. There we go. Whoops. And we're going to go to this. All right, so this is the new version of Lightroom, and it's called Lightroom CC. And it's meant more for using where you're syncing your photos to the cloud. You're using your tablet, your computer, whatever it is, your laptop. It is, keeping those photos in the cloud so you can edit them and work on them at any place you are with whatever device you have, being the laptop or the tablet or the desktop or whatever. It doesn't have all the features of Lightroom. You do have to put it in the cloud. I did notice, let's see, if on mine, I have 100 gig of space. I think that's because of the plan I have. I believe with the $9.99 plan, you only get 20 gig. Is that right, Tim?
Right. 20 gig.
So with that, and I don't know what the intended purpose here is, whether you're going to you couldn't possibly keep all your photos up there. 20 gig is not nearly enough.
No,
right?
and I think when they started going to the other one, you can get 1 terabyte, but I think it was like $100 a year, and I was like, I know I have over 1 terabyte of pictures, so that's going to cost me $100 a year, which seems a little extreme.
Yeah, so I don't want to use Adobe for my photo storage and that kind of stuff. Yeah. But if you wanted to sync some up there and edit them while you're on the road and then take them back down when you're done, you might be able to do that. I haven't played with it enough yet to know whether I can maybe have them in the field and tag them and call them in the field and then have it sync to my Lightroom Classic. That would be great if I could do that. And maybe even do some light editing. There are, it does have editing tools here. You have, and AD showed me how to get the histogram because I didn't see it at first. But you do have some editing tools here to go through some of this stuff. Not all the ones you have before, but you have some of the basics. Cropping, the healing brush, the regular local adjustment brush. Graduated filter, whatever that is. Yeah. And the radial, you have that too. So you do have some of those things. There is no way that I know of to, and how do I get rid of that?
Control Z.
Control Z. Let's try that. Yeah. There's no way I know to limit the upload bandwidth. So like right now it says downloading. I don't know how long that's going to go on. Wait, hold on a second. What's this? It's a sprocket. Well, that's nothing.
What's this sprocket?
There's no way for me to say only use 2 gig of my upload. I think it will just suck up everything it can.
Right.
So there's nothing there. Got it. Okay. That you can do. It does have different ways to look at the images. Here's one which shows the horizontals wider and the verticals, narrower. And you have just a square.
Actually, that's not bad. I actually like that one.
You have the single, you have the square. You sort them in different ways. So, it's a basic version of Lightroom. What is this? My photos. Okay. And so I'm sorting. I don't see me using this that much. I do almost all of my editing. I do all of my editing on my computer. And if I'm going to do it on my computer, why would I want to use this thing?
That's just like right now you can use on the Lightroom app on either your phone or an iPad. You can synchronize pictures to it. But I don't see myself sitting on my iPad. And maybe it's just me editing my photos. I enjoy doing it at my computer here. And maybe that's because the two of us are so ingrained in using this. And newer people probably don't. Think about how many people probably don't even have computers, and they're more likely to have an iPad and just a phone. I think desktop computer is probably nowhere near what it was 5-10 years ago.
No, whoops, I need to get you back, don't I? No, you're right. You're right that work with some people who don't have computers at home. There's some of the younger people, they have a tablet, because I've asked them, hey, why don't you just, you can remote in from home and do some of this work there. You don't have to be here today if you don't want to. And how do I remote into my tablet? Okay, yeah, you don't.
Nope, you come in, you drive in.
But there are people like that. I don't, maybe for the hobbyist photographer, or maybe the use case I was mentioning before, where you can do some light editing while on the road, and then if you can sync those back to your regular, Lightroom, that would be okay. You do, like with most Lightroom big updates, you do have to, with Lightroom Classic, you have to upgrade your database, your catalog, whatever it is. That is not, you cannot reverse that. Once you've done it, it's done. Right. So I've done it. Nothing broke, so it's everything. And Gary says editing in bed, awesome. I think he's being a little bit sarcastic, but what I need to do, and I haven't looked this up, maybe somebody's already done it and figured it out, I'm sure they have, is that whole syncing between it and the regular Lightroom, because you could see a scenario where you're doing the culling, in bed, like Gary mentions, or watching TV or whatever. Right. I don't have a laptop to do work on, so I couldn't do it with my laptop. I have a powerful desktop. So I know there's been a lot of talk about it. There's been some anger about the naming convention. I'm not happy with it, but I'm not angry with it, and whatever.
I think the bigger question is that people have been asking is, will Adobe be getting rid of the classic version in the future? And I would think no, but I think there's a difference between the lifetime subscription or the Lightroom 2015 versus getting rid of the classic, where people have it on the computers at home. So,
yeah, I hope not. Like we've learned with so many other things, you can never trust the companies that continue it. So you just never know. But I would hope not, because a lot of us have a lot invested. We've do a lot of our editing, culling, and photo, digital management in Lightroom. There is Bridge, and I know people who are committed to Bridge and they do all their management there. But I am a Lightroom guy. Right,
and I think the majority of the people that have been on our podcast have been in Lightroom. They may edit some pictures in Photoshop, but the vast majority have been in Lightroom. You think about our former co-host, she didn't use Lightroom, and then she became an expert and absolutely loved it.
And AD says that digital asset management, that's what DAM is. I know somebody asked on our Facebook group, what is DAM? Digital asset
I did see that.
Management. And he says it's coming to Luminar. So this does, so that's a good point, because Luminar, On One, some of those guys, they're still, you buy it, and that's it. You don't have to buy it again. Now, if you want upgrades, you may have to do that, which is reasonable. These companies need to have continuing revenue to continue to update their product, which is part of why everybody likes the subscription model. But Adobe killing the perpetual license for Lightroom gives more opportunity to competitors to come in and fill that gap. And
absolutely.
I'd love to see Luminar love to see their digital asset management tool come in, and the release of the Windows version of Luminar, and give us more options.
Well, the options are always a good thing, because it gets people it gets the other companies to make their product better. So it always helps us.
Yeah, right.
No doubt about that.
We always want some choice there. So maybe AD, whenever that comes out, he can come on and give us a little demo about how that's working. Those guys seem to be really making some noise now, so we want them to keep going and stay healthy and stay a good competitor for years to come.
Yes, I agree.
All right, well, that was the main topic I have for tonight. Tim, anything before I go into one more thing?
No, Lightroom was the one that got me the other day when I sent you the message. It's like, we need to talk about this.
We do. So one more thing is my big giant news on Thursday, which is 2 days from now. From AD says big giant news on Thursday. I don't have any inside information, But if he's talking about it, it's probably something to do with Luminar and, open items. Let's just go over open items that I know about, which are not many, which is two. One I just learned about tonight is digital asset management coming to Luminar, and two is an eventual official release of Luminar for Windows.
Right, for Windows.
So maybe it's one of those two. We're not going to ask AD because he can't spill the beans 2 days before it's going to be released.
No.
So
and he doesn't have to worry. This show probably won't get published until after Thursday anyway, so he's okay.
Yes. Well, the recorded version on YouTube is live right now. It'll be live as soon as we're done, so it'll be out there. But yes, I am slowly catching up on the other shows.
Well, you're trying to get fit, so that's more important.
Yeah, that and work. And I will say one more thing, and this is something I've been talking about a lot lately that I have not solved yet. I've been using Backblaze. As a competitor. I think I mentioned that on a previous show. Maybe
yes, you did.
Okay. So I've been testing Backblaze on one of my machines. I've got.
You still have Crash Plan, right? Well, how long was your subscription till? Because you didn't renew.
I have
just
two.
Before that.
I have two subscriptions. One is my main machine that has got 14 terabytes of stuff backed up. That has 2 months left. And it's dead. Then I have a family subscription.
Then it's dead.
Yeah. Then I have a family subscription that is on 7 machines.
Okay.
That has until June, so it has a little bit longer. But I've been moving one of the machines, the side machines, over to Backblaze. It's got 7 days left on a trial. It won't get everything backed up by that time frame. There's good and bad about it. It doesn't seem to take up as much resources as Crash Plan, but it also, you can't tell it to back up everything. It will not back up certain folders.
Okay.
There's nothing I found to change that. For most people, that probably won't be a problem. So I think Backblaze is a decent alternative. It doesn't have the file versioning. It doesn't have the single file recovery that you do. So let's say you edited in a photo and you did something, maybe you saved over the JPEG and you didn't mean to do that. Crap, I did all that work on that JPEG. I don't know why you couldn't just resave it, but let's just go with a scenario where you couldn't resave it from the original. Crash Plan keeps a version of that, so you can go multiple versions back and recover that. And you can recover that one file. With Backblaze, you have to request a zip file to be sent to you. Right. And I don't think there's versioning of it. So it has some shortcomings, but hey, at least they're still offering it in that way. There is no family plan, so it's $50 a computer, which is a little expensive. The other thing I've been trying is Acronis, which is for local backup. So if you have your laptop or PC that you're doing your work on, maybe you got your photos on it, and you have a file server or a Drobo or something like that in your house, or some other kind of NAS, network attached storage, you can use Acronis to back it up to that thing, that storage. And it's worked okay, except for it keeps going haywire on me. And I have it set to do full backup every 5 days and incremental in between. Somewhere along the way, and it's backing up with 300 on this one machine, let's say 350 gig. And where it's backing up to is 5 terabyte. And in 2 weeks, it's sucked up all 5 terabyte of that storage.
Okay, something's wrong with that.
Yeah, it was doing multiple full backups every day. So I don't know what's going on with that.
That would sound like a big problem.
Yeah, that would suck up every bit of data I have in no time at all, every bit of storage. So I'm getting closer to a solution, but I don't have the solution for me yet. I got to figure out what's going on with that before I go further.
I'm just looking at how much I have on this computer. I'm up to 1.8 terabytes, and that's a backup drive, so I don't care about that one. And then what's this one? 1.8. I get about 2 terabytes that I back up to a Acronis. And I have a separate hard drive in here that I, for my photos, that I back up to that, and then I take that off property and bring it to my in-laws' house.
Gary in chat says, isn't Kronos.
Acronis.
It's Acronis. AC, he probably knows. He's just picking on me.
He knows.
But I'll spell it anyway. It's Acronis.
Yes.
Acronis. and it's not that expensive. You can buy.
No, you usually get a discount.
Buy a family thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you can buy. I bought multiple versions, so it is a decent backup. It works on Mac. It works on PC, and you can back up between two computers if you wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, that's right at the 30-minute mark. We're going to go ahead and close down and go in the post show. How about that, Tim?
Sounds good to me.
All right. Thanks everybody
that was the fastest show we've ever had.
I know. I wanted to keep it fast. Don't forget to subscribe, and especially on YouTube, subscribe on our YouTube channel. That's where it always is first.
Mm-hmm.
It always is on YouTube first. So subscribe over there. Like us if you like us. Don't if you don't, I guess. So make sure you join our Facebook group. We've been getting a lot of new members lately over there, Tim. Hopefully they'll join in on the contest that we do every month. We're coming on the end of the year. I got to start building I need to talk to AD and get some ideas on some judges. I want to get a little bit more diverse group this time. I think we had all male landscape photographers last year, so I want to get a little bit more diverse this time for the judging contest for the December Best of contest. That's what I'm talking about. So I need to start working on that and get some ideas from AD and see if he knows. He always has some great ideas on people, so maybe we can get something there. But until next show, keep it raw. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
All right. That will be the end, and now we're in post-show. Wanted to keep it short. Not always going to be this short. When we have a guest, we'll go a little bit longer. This machine held up pretty good with
you couldn't tell that it was slow at all.
Well, when I first brought it up, even drawing that graduated filter, like it wouldn't even show up for a couple of minutes.
Oh.
It's like I didn't even
a couple of minutes.
Yeah, I was like, did it work? And I would try and do it again and just keep doing it again. And all of a sudden I was getting, multiple things on the screen. It was crazy. Lightroom all by itself, just sitting there, not doing anything to it, was using 40 to 60% of the CPU.
Mm-hmm.
But I let it sit there for a while, and it seems to have settled down.
Yeah, I wish they would have added. Do you ever use the sync to a mobile device or anything?
No.
So you don't. The one thing I would have liked that they would have had would have been if they would have added keywording, because that is something I could have seen myself sitting down somewhere and going through the pictures and adding keywords.
Mobile has that. I mean, not a mobile. Lightroom CC has that, doesn't it?
Lightroom CC. But I don't want. You can't use CC with Classic at the same time, can you?
See, that's the thing is I don't know if there's any way to sync what you did in Classic over to what you did in CC over to Classic.
That's the one thing I'm not sure on, and that's something I would like to know, because that would make it so much easier.
Let's see if we can do anything here. Get rid of the post-show thing. So what is this? Plus, whoops. Not that. What is this? Add an album. Migrate Lightroom catalog. Migrate to Lightroom CC. Oh, yeah, I don't think I could do that. I would lose all my bandwidth if I tried this right now. This looks like it would do a migration. It would take your current catalog and suck it into Lightroom CC.
And then
it's there.
Yeah, and that's not what I want.
Yeah, and it looks like it would suck it all into the cloud storage. Which, gosh, that's going to chew up your cloud storage in no time. But imagine, the challenge for some people right now for doing backups like we were just talking about is the fact that, they may have unlimited bandwidth. One, they may not have a whole lot of upload. So if you don't have a whole lot of upload, or you're on a metered upload, where you have a limit. I know people who have Comcast have 250 gig limit or something crazy like that. That's just, I don't know how you live with that. But there's people that have to, and which really means that the cloud backup for like the things I was talking about, crash plan and backplays, are probably out of the question. But now you're going to be storing all your photos up there too. It's just not going to get there. But even for me, and for I'm sure a lot of the listeners here who have terabytes of photos,
Right. That's crazy.
Yeah. Or, my card is a 32 gig card. I go out and shoot.
And you'll fill that up in one shoot.
It depends on what you're shooting. I don't know if somebody like AD, who's a landscape photographer, who's probably a little more picky than I am, would fill up a 32 gig card in one shoot. Maybe like a trip, he would. And he's out there, he can answer me. But if you're like a sports photographer, or a wedding photographer, or you're coming back with thousands of images from one day's event, I mean, you might shoot multiple 32 gig cards, especially with some of the high megapixel cameras that are out there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm just talking off the cuff here. What if you didn't upload the raw image? It just uploaded a smaller image that you could edit. This is why I wish they merged these two. Why do these two have to be separate programs?
Yeah, that's what I wish they didn't do.
Yeah. Because if you had a version of your image that was in the cloud, that then you could have an app that did this stuff. I don't know. It just seems like AD picky. Maybe picky is not the right word. Selective. The smallest card I own is 64 gig. I shoot uncompressed RAW on a A7R2, and each file is 48 meg. See right there. I mean, that's just. He probably does fill up the 64 gig card. As these cameras get bigger and bigger, it just causes storage problems at home. But definitely having to upload them is crazy.
And the Lightroom CC prepaid annual plan is $120 per year.
For the
it's $10 a month regardless. So prepaid. Wow, they're really giving you a deal when you go prepaid versus. It's exactly the same price. And if you do the photography 1 terabyte plan, it's $239 for the year. And if you do the photography plan 20 gigabyte, it's $119. So you're getting Photoshop for free to get the 20 gigs. And you know what? I don't use Photoshop a lot, but I do use it, so I wouldn't want to lose it. Yeah, it's exactly what I'm looking at.
Yeah, so photography plan is, you said 20 gigs or 1 terabyte of storage. Lightroom, if you only get Lightroom CC, you get 1 terabyte of storage, right?
Yep. And it's half the price.
Single app.
And the Lightroom is out of that. I was just looking at that.
Wait, but who'd want to pay $20 a month for just Lightroom?
Yeah. You'd be an idiot.
Yeah.
When you can get for $10 you can get Lightroom and Photoshop. That's weird. $20, yeah.
Yeah.
Latest version, which you're getting anyway from the photography plan.
Yeah. So if you're on, I'm on this program, so you get the 100 gig of storage. Which still is not enough. If you do the
student and teachers are the same price for the photography plan. There's no discount for that.
But there's a discount for if you're a teacher or a student. There's a discount for the full thing.
Yeah.
And I don't know what nobody's that. And then businesses they probably charge extra. $69 a month. Yeah.
All apps $20 a month. So my school gets into college. I know what I can get. I mean,
your kid gets into college.
But a lot anyway.
Even at the 100 gig thing, AD's smallest card is a 64 gig, and he's not alone. There's lots of people like that. Right. 64 gig, and he's shooting 48 megabyte single image files. But imagine you come home with 100 gig of or one card, 64 gig of files. How long is that going to take to upload?
It's going to take a while.
So 80s, I think he's maybe a little bit faster upload than me, if I remember right. He may be like 6 megabit. I'm 5 megabit. So, if that's not going to be a material difference.
All right, so
it's going to take
what this is really meant for.
It's going to take a couple of days.
Maybe what this is really meant for are people that are taking pictures with their phones, with their iPhones and their Android phones, and that's how they're using this plan versus somebody using a DSLR. I mean, and they didn't say that, but that would make sense to me.
What the heck? He's got 20 megabit up now.
Well, and I'm 75 either way. Sorry.
Although the fiber that they're running has made it all the way to the front of my street. So
you're gonna be there soon.
I'm hoping one day I can have a much better upload speed, and you guys can suck it.
Well, Verizon is offering I don't know what's the top end 1
gig,
1 gig up and down. They say $79.99 a month, but I don't know. When I put it into my plan, suddenly my prices all went up. I'm like, yeah, no, I'll take the 75 both ways. I don't even, half the time when I go to some place and I download, it's slowed from the other side anyway.
Yeah,
you're not getting that full speed down.
And he says that for Adobe, that's exactly what they're marketing for vloggers and Instagrammers.
Instagram, right.
It'll be interesting to see where it goes from here.
Yep.
For me, as long as I still have my Lightroom Classic, which I'm just going to still call Lightroom, then I'm good. Mike Frederick Van Johnson has 250 up and 375 down.
That's nice.
Why are you comparing me to him? 250
different podcaster. That's what he's talking about.
250.
It's our
up.
show versus his show.
Yeah, well, his show is going to win. 250 up. That's awesome.
That's nice.
Now
somebody like that having Lightroom CC would not be an issue.
Yeah.
But the problem you're going to run into is if you're using a 64 gig card, and 1 terabyte is the top plan.
Yeah.
So
you can run out of space.
I mean, I have more than a terabyte of data, so it's useless to me.
Yeah. So hopefully,
I think this is meant for people taking pictures with their phones.
Yeah, I don't know. Hopefully, whenever that fiber comes here, and that's what I'm hoping they're running, because all it is a big orange cable. I don't know what's inside of it. That I can have some really good speeds. I think if anything above 20 or above, I am super happy.
Right. I think if they're doing it, it's going to be much higher than that. They'll probably introduce it slowly at a low number, and then each year they'll up it, even though it'll probably have the capacity from the beginning, but they want to offer more and more.
Like right now, I had to stop all the backup programs and syncing and all that kind of stuff before we do the show. And just talking to you and streaming, I am right at the edge of my bandwidth. But the other side is I have 300 down. And if you download something 300 meg, most people don't know this, but there's talking going back and forth. When you're downloading or uploading your machine to wherever you're going, they're talking back and forth all the time. And the faster you download, the more upload has to happen to continue that talk. Well, you know what the bandwidth requirements of the upload is when you're downloading at 300 meg? 5 meg.
Right.
So if I am actually downloading anywhere near 300 meg, I have used every single bit of my upload speed.
Oh, I have not saturated myself yet. So,
So why someone would sell a 300 down 5 up plan is just insane.
It's stupidity. It really is. Yeah. Well, I think the vast majority of people probably don't upload. They're thinking of people that want to watch movies and stuff.
Well, when I asked the guy, I told him, why would I want 5 up? I'm at 300 down. I can't even use it when I'm downloading. And he goes, 5 meg is way more than anybody needs. No one needs that.
Yeah, no.
And I said,
not anybody needs it.
It was more than what anybody needed back in 2005.
Yeah, no, that's not this.
But
I disagree with that now.
Yeah, even people like AD, myself, we put this stuff out there on the internet. You're uploading videos, you're doing that. You're using a lot of bandwidth, and so we're there.
You're outside the norm.
But think about people who are doing the more and more stuff you're doing at home. You're streaming stuff. You're doing video chatting. You're doing all these things at home. Maybe multiple people doing them. You also loading videos maybe up on Facebook or loading photos up on there, and so you're using more upload than in the past. The average person is using more upload in the past. Still nothing like a video YouTuber or something like that.
Right. No, I think.
With backup plans. The other thing is backup plans. We all here. I've preached it here. You've got to be backing up to the cloud off-site. You got to be backing up to off-site. So your upload speed kills that if you don't have a good speed, and if you have any data cap, it's even worse. It kills it even more.
Right. Like I said, I have 1.8 terabytes on this computer here. If I had 5 meg upload, it would take me weeks to upload that to any service out there.
Yeah,
I can't think of the popular one off the top of my head.
So AD, for those for those of us who are, where is it? Members of the creators on Patreon, what do we have coming up? He does have an. I don't know if I can. I don't know if I'm supposed to show this stuff to people who aren't who aren't Patreons. So maybe I'll just keep it here, the logo. While we wait for AD to tell us what's coming, what if anything new's coming here. He was probably working and said, "What the heck?" It's public. It's public. Let's see. I'll be doing a live broadcast here on their Facebook page. He says, as you know, I work for a Mac fund. There's some big news, strike that enormous news, coming this week. And right now I am under NDA, so you can't tell us.
You could just say there's big news coming.
This is the post I can show, right?
How come I can't get that's the creators.com you're at?
Yeah, well, no, this is on Patreon. Patreon.com/thecreators.
Ah. No wonder I can't see it.
He says it's public, which I don't truly understand what all's going on with Patreon. If that means that even if you're not a contributor, you can still see it. I think that's what that means. Because there's some things that you have to be a contributor to see. You can show the 1023. Yes, that's what I'm showing. 1023. I'm not going to go any further than that. I hope. Let's see. I'll be doing a live broadcast here on Facebook page from the floor of the convention center. If I have good connection. Hopefully you have good connection. He has an OBS. OBS is a streaming software. We use vMix. OBS is, I believe there's a free version of OBS. Or maybe it's all free. Open broadcast system. It's it's a pretty good system. It's like an XSplit, although I don't think there's a free version of XSplit anymore. But it is a good, if you're just getting into broadcasting, that's a good one to start with, or even stay with if you don't need the other features. And he just got back from the Asylum tour with a good buddy in Patreon, Walter Arnold. I need to reach back out to Walter and see if we can get him on the show.
Who?
Huh?
Who did you say?
Walter Arnold. I think I talked to him once, but I need to talk to him again and see if we can't get him on the show. Monday live stream. See, AD, you do a Monday live stream at the time when I'm home, and I can watch it while I'm on the treadmill. Anyway, there we go. That's over there at the patreon.com/thecreators.
Yeah, I can't, even when I go to that, I can't get to it. And that might be because I don't have an account. So.
Yeah, I don't know. So we'll try it with an incognito. Hold on. Whoops. Yeah, you should be able to get there.
Throw the link in chat a second. Maybe I'm just typing it wrong and I'm an idiot.
No, I can't. I'm not logged in here. No. AD, how do you tell if a post is? How do you tell if a post is public or not? Because let me see more stuff. Anyway, I'm gonna take it off.
No, it gives me a 404.
What?
Yeah, when I put that link in, it gives me a 404. Won't let me to it. That's weird.
That is weird.
And I
somebody else tried it. Try it. Now, Jan says if you can see it while not logged in. Okay. So I was in an incognito window there and
Yeah, you would think that would be it, but
not logged in. So I'm not gonna go down any further.
yeah.
But anyway, Jan says if I won't talk. I don't. You can. I'm not sure. It's probably something we were saying a while back.
I won't talk. Oh, if you do tell it, if you do talk about it, his
okay, yeah.
Yeah, I don't he'll go there.
No, we just got 2 days. We gotta wait 2 days. So, one last question for AD, and then we'll head out because I gotta go change clothes before I get on the treadmill.
Whatever.
Huh?
Your shirt, whatever.
So AD, y'all usually do a MacFun live show every week, or almost every week. Are y'all doing one this week? Is that going to be Thursday when you're going to make the announcement, or what's the plan for this week? We'll wait for that answer, and then we'll head out. Do, 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 do. We're going to get banned by YouTube first.
Alex Trebek. Boy, that would be really bad. My whistle's not that good.
No, definitely not mine. Thursday on Speaking in New York City on the main stage, and MacFun will be out of the bag then. Delay. Yeah, I know there's a delay. All right, well, we'll be looking forward to that, AD. We'll see that when it comes out, and can't wait. Hopefully it is about the Windows full release, but we'll wait. We'll wait and see. All right, guys, I'm going to cut the live stream off. We'll see you soon. Good night.
Good night, everybody.